Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Positively Awesome Wrestling Show. It is yours truly, Jimmy Bebe, and I'm joined, as always, by the man to the right of me, Albert. Albert, how the heck have you been, and how have you been enjoying wrestling?
I've been good. Wrestling's been good, and I'm very excited today. They announced a new Lego Batman game. The world is coming to heal. We're starting to heal again. Things are starting to get better.
Lego Batman. That's been a
Uh, I'm, a,
minute.
I'm a big Lego guy. I love
Yeah.
the recent one that they came out with, the Lego Skywalker series, was amazing. Every single Star Wars game, every single Star Wars movie in the game, super cool. So I'm a big Batman guy too. I've done all the DC ones, all the Batman ones, and I'm very excited. We get another one.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played a Lego game, but I mean, I probably might just go ahead and play Lego Batman again. My favorite.
It's a good time.
Harry says he loves Lego Marvel games. First
Yes.
off, Harry, what is up? Thank you for joining, as always. Second off, my favorite one, strangely enough, Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones was great.
Don't even like Indiana Jones. I think it's silly and it's just not for me. But the Lego games were awesome. I think it just worked.
The Harry Potter one, and I'm playing the Jurassic Park one. Pretty fun too.
Jurassic Park one was cool. I never played the Harry Potter one, but
Harry Potter one's fun.
Okay.
Yeah. I try to play almost every one of them. The only one I haven't played yet is Pirates of the Caribbean. After I'm done with Jurassic Park, that's next on my list. Do them all.
He's got it set up.
I like the Lego games. They're fun.
Ron's up in the chat. Hello, Ron. Thank you as always for joining. Courtney asking whatever is this about. I'm going to be busy the next 2 days, so we're going to do it on Tuesday instead of just skipping out because I want to not do that as often as we have been doing it. So
exactly,
move it to Tuesday, and that's all in the chat. So we're going to move on. And since last week we played the little game of who was going to walk away out of Triple Mania, and thanks to AJ Styles, Albert over here won, but we all know it should have been Dom. AJ Styles is just a world-class hater. He's traveling to Australia to screw people. He's traveling to Mexico. Then he can't even show up to Monday Night Raw to take his lickings. Man, what a punk ape. Oh, my goodness. I was furious.
What I will say is that all he did is just set up for Dom to win in his own match one-on-one. So it just makes it an even bigger thing. So,
man, that crowd in Mexico was ready for him, though. They were just ready to come unglued. And AJ, they popped for AJ, but then I think they were like, oh, wait a second. Now we just got screwed ourselves. AJ, stop. Harry, don't even start with me anymore. Don't even start with me. Dom's going to get that belt back. He's going to get it. He's going to get it at the Worlds Collide in Vegas, where he won the Intercontinental title. Vegas is going to be his spot. Undertaker had WrestleMania. Dom's going to have Las Vegas. You ain't going to beat that man there. That's on my mother.
I like that. It's a good look. There's a good chance of it. What I will say is this, to just kind of put like the spin on everything before we get into what we're going to talk about this week. Overall, AAA was more talked about after this weekend than I think it's ever been talked about. I think, and maybe ever. I think the more online impressions. I think more views on on I think both WWE and AAA's YouTube channels. It was sold out. The crowd was hot. It's breathing. Whether you like or you don't like what WWE is doing, it is breathing a little bit more life back into the AAA brand. And I think that's a really good thing for pro wrestling. There's a lot of faces that were on that show, especially with the Battle Royal and stuff like that, nobody's ever seen before. A lot of gimmicks no one's ever seen before. There's, it's exposing a lot of new people to AAA, and it's exposing AAA to a lot of new eyes that it's never had on it before. So there's a lot of good that's coming out of this. I think that it was a very successful show. And I love that they're doing this collaboration now where they're even allowing these AAA characters to be present on shows like Monday Night Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, so I haven't sat down and watched a full Triple Mania. I never watched one live. I'm not going to sit here and be one of those people that's like, well, I've seen a
Same.
few things from Triple Mania, and they didn't have the feel of what this one was, and that's WWE breathing life into it. And I don't care if someone wants to give me crap because the only reason I tuned in to watch it was because WWE is now like part of it. So what? I'm watching it, and I loved what I saw. That was the second best show of the year for me, behind Evolution. I had that much fun watching it, and that all the way up until when AJ Styles showed up, I was just having a blast. I had to watch it the next morning because I was just completely busy Saturday, but I stayed off the internet so I wasn't spoiled. I had a fantastic time, and I literally, as everything was unfolding in that main event, I got to my feet, which is just a testament to how invested I am in a show. When I'm getting up off my couch to be like, and I was just ready to explode, and then AJ Styles showed up, and I literally did a soccer kick. Thank goodness the cat wasn't in the area. He would have right out the window. I was, oh my God. And then Dom took the pin. I was, but I was that invested. That's what I want. I want to feel something when I'm watching the show, and not anger because it was bad, or like I want to feel anger because my guy just got screwed in a match that he should have won, but he did. Like, I'm invested. I'm a fan.
Right.
I love it.
And that's what this is all about.
First off, thank you for joining, Lou. Always good to see you, bud. And yes, it is still on YouTube. It is the most watched Triple Mania of all time. So
there we go.
Anybody that says the WWE thing is a bad for is factually incorrect at this point.
It's exactly what Ron said. That's the point. The point of WWE buying the promotion.
Courtney, it was.
And the point of it was for WWE to get more eyes on that promotion, right? And for AAA to get the eyes that it never had from the WWE onto it. And that's exactly what it did. It was mutually beneficial for both shows, right? It's mutually beneficial for both promotions. That's why WWE bought it. So if you're going to sit there and try to bash WWE for purchasing the company so that they can put more eyes onto it, I mean, that's
and help everybody involved,
right? That's psychotic.
I don't want to do any spoilers since Lou said he hasn't watched it, but there was people there that haven't been getting used in WWE that people were like, where are they at?
Right.
They got used, and they got used in a big way. So that's cool. The tag match was
a big and small way.
Yeah. The tag match was
the coolest I've ever seen, by the way. Just the size differential. I'm trying not to spoil anything. Just, I mean, them being in the ring together at the same time is just incredible.
Get a few of these comments that I saw that I wanted to get up there. KO did have Texas until Stone Cold Steve Austin stomped the mud hole and walked it dry. Son.
What?
I don't think that was the real La Parka. It is the real La Parka. It's just the new real La Parka. I think this is the third generation of La Parka.
There's 4 different La Parkas.
There's LA Park, right?
Who was the original one?
I'm confused.
Yes. It's a whole thing.
Because chairman was my first iteration of La Parka. And like I think the next one was his son, wasn't it? It's like
I think so, but then I think that then somebody else took the gimmick over when he was in WCW in Mexico, and then when he came back, he had to come back as LA Park. It was like something like that. It's a whole big. It was a whole big, and that's the same thing. Like there are some gimmicks that were used at Triple Mania where people were like, "Well, that looks very familiar," but that's a very normal thing.
Very cool. Very cool. Exciting.
Yeah. That's a very normal thing in AAA. Like the reason how like Dralistico got his name is because it was like the combination of like this character and Mystico, and then they put them together, and then Mystico was played by 2 or 3 different people, and then he had 3 to 4 different names. Like that's the way things happen in AAA. Like the promotion owns the gimmick, and they'll just throw somebody else in there if that guy's gone, and then
here's the overview. Here's the overview I have. There are currently 3 versions of La Parka and Lucha Libre AAA. The original, now known as LA Park, that's the one I knew.
There we go.
Is Son El Hijo de LA Park, and a third La Parka introduced in 2025, portrayed by Brazo de Oro Jr. Additionally, there have been other wrestlers who have used variations of the name or character, including Super Parka, Parka Negra, and Parka Guerrera. So yeah, Yes,
Phrase.
I know
So
LaParca
there
is
was
the chairman. He was one of the absolute favorite things in WCW back in the day. I think when I went to WrestleMania Philadelphia, I think the only T-shirt I bought the entire weekend was a LaParca shirt.
I love that.
I got a Rey Mysterio one for free. But that's the only because it was for free.
No,
Believe
it's a
me,
good. Yeah.
I wipe
Well,
my butt with that some B deadbeat dad shirt. That's what I'm talking about. But man, looking good. No, babe, it is you that is looking good. He said that Ron says Dave's Discord looked at him like he was an alien for marking out in a watch long. I'm never going to look at you weird, man. That's what it's all
exactly.
about, baby.
Right. You're supposed to be excited for things. And, if I was on Dave's channel right now, I'd say the exact same thing. We've lost that ability. I think we talked about this last week. Let's be excited again. Stop trying to spoil things. Stop trying to be the smartest person in the room.
We just talked about this last week. We were literally ranting about this last week. It's like, yo, go be a fan again. And that's what it's
fun.
About. Yeah. Second best show of the year for me. Absolutely.
And I love that.
It was so much fun.
And that's the thing.
I love Lucha Libre. Like, I just don't feel like there's been a market there's a market for it clearly, but it hasn't been presented on American television in quite some time. And
I agree.
I'm gonna start tuning into more AAA now. Like, I had a blast watching that.
And what I do like now is that WWE can do things where they can introduce concepts and things over there, bringing their talent over to AAA. Let those people who maybe aren't being used there go in there, get some reps, work on something new, bring it back to Monday Night Raw, and now they can use this as almost like a talent exchange.
Yeah.
Again,
I've talked about this before with the Raw and SmackDown, how people are mad that the rosters aren't like, they'll have people show up and whatever. They're creating their own. It's an unforbidden door because they own all the properties to it, but people are jumping and showing up at other things, right. And it's the same thing as what the other companies are doing. It's just they're controlling how they do it, and if you're a fan of it, you're a fan. If you're not, whatever. I'm not here to tell you you're wrong. But it's the same scenario. If someone from AAA is showing up in NXT, and then NXT showing up in WWE, and then Raw showing up on NXT, and then TNA showing, like, it's their own little thing. Like, that's how I view it. And
right. And I think that, look, and I get it that people like things to be, and it's funny to me. A lot of people who clown on the way that the WWE handles their brand separation are the same people who get mad at WWE fans for always wanting things spelled out for them. But they're the ones who are so adamant. We're like, there was never anything said on TV that there was the ability for people to go from brand to brand and yada, yada. So what? Like, just use your imagination. These things happen. You say you don't want things all spelled out for you. Then they do things where it was like, okay, we're not going to insult your intelligence. This guy's just going to go over here and that guy's, look, they basically traded Sami Zayn and LA Knight, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
They didn't that's a good trade. Publicize it as like a trade or whatever. One guy showed up there, one guy showed up there, and then all of a sudden they were there. Why do we need there to be an announcement? Just let it be. Like, it's not the same thing. Like, it was fine when they would do that in AEW. It was fine. But now when WWE would do it around their own brands, people got mad about it. It's just a very weird thing.
The transfer window I didn't like because it was like, now it feels kind of like forced. Like, you're making, like, I don't know. I didn't like the whole idea of the transfer window. I like the idea of how they did it with Sami Zayn and LA Knight. They just started showing up on the shows, and then they said, yeah, you're now part of this squad. And both of them desperately needed that change of scenery. So, like, it worked. It's great. Right. I love it. Lou said, when are we going to talk? When are they going to buy a W? It's cool, Jimmy. Talk about, bro. That's never going to happen, man.
Not going to happen.
Unless Tony just wakes up tomorrow and is just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And even then, I don't think he would sell to WWE. I think he would. Yeah. I just don't see it happening.
I feel like he would find like somebody to buy him out, and
he's pointed out many times, he has more money than them, so it's just not a thing.
And here's the thing: WWE and AEW are supposed to be able to exist in the same world. They're not the same company. AEW is very much more focused on in-ring wrestling. WWE is very much more focused on storytelling. That is a very big difference. And if you prefer one, let one exist. If you prefer the other, let the other exist. If you love both, cool, you're awesome. Like, there's just no reason for all this competition, toxicity, negativity. It's just people being malcontent just to be malcontent. And it's a point that I pointed out on X or Twitter, whatever we want to call it nowadays. Recently, people were talking about, well, Triple H took the first shot, and it's like, dude, first of all, if you took a joke that's been made by every person about a billionaire, like that personal, what is wrong with you? But also, if you thought that if that was the comment that made it okay for AEW to spend 2 years taking shots at almost every week at WWE, that's also asinine. Like, there's just, like, both sides are petty.
Yeah, to me, who gives? Like,
right.
we know they don't. They know they don't get along. They know they're not going to work together. So whatever, as long as it's within. The only one I've never liked was the one Britt Baker did about the Saudi. I think that's too far because I feel like it's for another day. Like, it's a whole other. That's the only one I've ever really had an issue with because it just felt like it was unnecessary. But let's do these comments real quick and then go into what we're here for.
Right, because we the reason why we started talking about AAA is because I had to pick the topic this week. And then we just talking about AAA because of how good it was. So
they actually did make this official, not this past week, but last week. It was Adam Pearce. He went up to LA Knight and he says, "Welcome to the Raw brand," and that's why he's getting a title shot. They wouldn't. I'm assuming they wouldn't have given him a title shot if he wasn't part of the Raw brand because they've never done that. And you think. Ron says, I do think there should be some level of consistency or at least attempted to stick to the words that explains things. So the way I've always seen it, there's never been an instance where there was someone jumping from brand to brand between Raw and SmackDown where there wasn't a reason for it. Maybe it wasn't addressed immediately, but it always had some kind of backstory to it, like some kind of history, even if it was small. Like Solo showed up on Raw to attack Sammy because Sammy was on SmackDown. And then we found out that Sammy was being basically brought over to SmackDown because they made the swap or whatever. Right. And he just invaded Raw to get his lick back on Sammy. So it's like, yeah, of course he would come over there. He's part of the company. Like, he's well within his right to just, it's not like they're going to kick him out or anything. Right. It's not a bad deal. It's like, that's my thing. I feel like there's always been something.
And the thing is that they're not switching brands without much hoopla. But even when they are, it's the same thing as like in baseball. If you watch, if you watch the Yankee game, one day, you're just watching the Yankee game. Then the next day, you're like, oh, hey, the announcer's just going to be like, it's not like there's like a deity who stands in the middle of the field and says, last night the Yankees made a trade. Now this new left-hand pitcher will now be starting for the Yankees. That doesn't happen. So what happens? The announcers fill you in. And I think that on the show, the announcers did say, hey, LA Knight is now on the Raw brand. On SmackDown, Sami Zayn said, Ron said, I'm officially a part of the SmackDown brand. Like, that's the way it's a net. Like, we don't need that to be like some big neon flashing sign. And I think it does get fleshed out during the show.
The thing is, people, WB is accused of being too on the nose with things. And then when they're not on the nose with things as much, it's like, hey, wait a second. But here's his last one I'll bring up, and then we're moving to the topic. But Jimmy refused to go to SmackDown earlier. And this goes right along with the character, because I already talked about this with someone. The reason he didn't is because morally he couldn't accept that deal knowing that he wanted to get his hands on Seth and be there, to take on Seth. Also, he was also in the midst of dealing with Karrion Kross, who was like, go be that guy. Go do that. You're not this person. So morally, based on the character that we know Sammy is and the one that Karrion was trying to basically say he wasn't, he couldn't take that deal because it would have been dirty, shady, shortcut, anything. That's not who Sammy's character is. So for him to leave now was more along the lines of like, all right, I'm just kind of done on Raw. I'm going to go over to SmackDown and start my journey over there. That's what I pieced together with it. If
I agree.
You can't. If you don't, that's fine. Again, I've always said I find ways to watch things and enjoy things and maybe piece things together that others don't for my own self. That's me. But okay, he was being sarcastic. Thank you, Ron. Thank you. Yes, because I saw people saying that and it's like, that is silly. That is absolutely silly to do that because it's like you clearly were not paying attention to the story with Sami Zayn if you thought that was like going back. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Okay. I think he says Sammy going to SmackDown, his odds of winning the Rumble go up. I think they go down.
I kind of agree.
I can see him being the world champion. I can't see him winning the WWE title with the names that are involved with the WWE title as opposed to the world title.
But what I will say is that he still could win the Rumble and just go choose to be on Raw anyway.
I still think he's winning the Rumble. That's my pick, and I'm sticking with it.
And he can go choose to be on Raw anyway, and face whoever the world champion is.
No, Ron.
I'd rather not
touching that one.
This is the Positively Awesome Wrestling
Let's
show.
Move on to why we're here. Naomi and Big Jim, congratulations. You're having a baby.
So awesome, dude. So awesome.
I don't mean this in any bad way, but unfortunately it comes during a time where Naomi is probably on the push of her career.
And doing the best work of her career as well.
Yes. That's the unfortunate part. I'm not saying unfortunate they're having a kid. It's wonderful. I'm sure it's been something they've wanted to do a long time.
So
if you look back, Solo has 5, Jay has like 3, Roman has 6 or whatever, and Jimmy doesn't have any.
So this is I read a quote from her. She had said that it came as a surprise because she actually didn't think she was able to. She's had some issues, and there were complications.
Yeah.
So they actually thought that there wasn't she actually thought there wasn't a chance that she ever was able to even get pregnant. So they didn't even assume this could even be a thing after she's had these complications and stuff. So it's like a miracle that
I didn't know this. But he doesn't have any with Naomi, so
right. Naomi doesn't have any. Yeah.
Like they
yeah.
It doesn't sound like they didn't want one. It just wasn't able a thing.
That they just didn't think it was ever going to be able to happen. So it's kind of a miracle that this is the case. So it's even more amazing.
It's just the timing that I kind of feel bad about because like this, and it's hard to catch this lightning in a bottle. And I'm not sure if she'd ever but that's for another. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Congratulations, she's having a kid. That's awesome. But now we're in a situation where we need to crown a new women's world heavyweight champion. So
for a great reason,
because Albert had the say so this week, he decided that we were going to pick the 3 favorites that we personally have for that task.
So I chose a number 3 for a reason.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let you go first.
And I didn't tell you
to surprise people.
Okay. And I didn't tell you why, but this is the way that my mind went. So I kind of went with what I think they are capable of doing, what I would like to see happen, and what I think is going to happen. Is basically where I'm at.
Okay. So mine are what I think they're going to do, what I think they could do if they didn't go with the first one. I think it's it's what I'm pretty sure they're going to do, what I think they might do, it's like a reach, and then my third one is what I want to happen.
Right.
That's how I did it. So, but is it because Stephanie Vaquer is the number 1 contender?
Right, but she's the number 1 contender.
So why not just have someone else fight for the opportunity to face her at Clash for the belt?
Which is
that would be the logical thing to me.
So Ron, I'm glad you said that because it's actually something that I thought of as well.
Lou said Rhea.
There's a very real chance where they can say, okay, Io Sky beat Rhea Ripley for the championship, and then they had a triple threat match at WrestleMania, right? For the title.
Yeah.
Then they have their rematch. It gets interrupted by Naomi cashing in. So they get another match, and it's a triple threat match again. So they never really have a conclusive one-on-one match. So there, in a way, there is in WWE logic, and this is one of my answers. This is like what I think they could do, but I don't think that there is a chance that they will. I think that there is a very real chance that they do say what Ron said. One-on-one, Io versus Rhea. Winner is the champion. The winner of that will go on to face Stephanie Vaquer, will be the number 1 contender. I don't think that that's really, and that's why it's my number 3. I don't think that's the way they would go. I think if you do that, you make Io win because there wasn't a logical conclusion to her championship reign anyway. She didn't put anybody over on the way out, you know?
Also, Stephanie and Io had a match where there was no conclusive winner, so
you exactly
get going back on that.
Absolutely. Right, exactly. And then you can have Io beat Stephanie the first time. Stephanie then can roll back around and then beat Io maybe for the championship in a couple of months.
So Io's your choice to become champion. Your number 3 choice.
My number 3 choice, yeah.
Okay. Harry says his number 3 is Rhea wins the World Heavyweight title and then beats Fakir. He's fantasy booking the whole thing. But he has Rhea. Yeah, he has Rhea. Lou had multiple ones. I'm gonna say Rhea's his pick because that was the first one he said. Ron brings up the Old Bailey's. Yeah, that segment was interesting. I wasn't so much interested the first week, but last night's was really interesting.
Yeah.
And Inigo, what is up, Inigo? Thank you for joining. Says, and honestly, anyone but Rhea because I'm ready for someone new in title contention. She's been in title contention for 3 years. Yes, but at the same time, she's just that like. I don't think you can deny it. Like, even if it's not a personal preference you have with her, like clearly you don't want to see her, but to deny it when she's continuously getting the reactions she's getting on a weekly basis that literally rival the top men in the company, it's kind of hard to not put her in that position.
Right.
Because then you risk kind of like having the fans kind of be like not invested in her as much. And I don't think you take that away from someone. If they've gotten that over, you push them. You push them, you push them, you push them. It's the same with Cody.
Exactly.
I'm not a Cody guy, but you got to push him with the way he's Jey Uso. I'm routinely been against the Jey Uso thing, but I'm wrong. On a grand scheme of things, I'm definitely wrong there. Ron says Io. Amanda says Rhea always. And that's kind of what I'm getting at is like she's just that big. She's Austin level for the women's division right now. That's a crazy thing to like say. My number 3 though, is probably the one that I feel like people who know me would think was my first pick. But I'm going to say, because it's the one I think they're just going to do, is Stephanie Vaquer. She's over. She had the spot to earn the title. So, I mean, why not just go with that? Nobody's going to be upset about it. Like, she's literally over. She's one of, I would say she's maybe second or third most over female on the roster.
Yeah.
Behind her, like, and there's a lot of matches for her to have, and that's what she's going to do. Like she said, wrestling is my language. So you just have her go out there and wrestle and just have constant wrestle because people want to see the title defended more. Well, that would be her thing. That'd be how she had her reign. So it works. And that's how I would do it. Just give her a chance, honestly. Like, okay, well, you're over. We're in a pickle. Let's see how this works out. And if it doesn't, we'll just take it off you and find the next chance for someone.
It's funny for all those exact same reasons that what you just said. That's why she's my number 1. Like that's my pick. I think that's what they're going to do. I really just think that you ride the wave of momentum, right? Okay. We know Naomi is over. We're going to ride that wave of momentum. She cashed in. This is the best work she's ever done. Okay. She's out now. She's unable to perform. So now what do we do? Why don't you just go with the hot hand? Yeah. You can say, let's go with the hot hand, put it right back on Rhea. But Rhea's always going to be over. If you put the championship on somebody like Stephanie Vaquer, I think it really elevates her to that next level. The only thing that I have a problem with Stephanie Vaquer is that I don't like having someone win a major world championship without having a signature singles victory under their belt. And I really don't feel we've had that for Stephanie Vaquer. She's won some matches. She's won some tag matches. And even when she's won against some of the bigger stars, it's not when they were like at the top of their game at all. She's had a lot of draws with some top talents. And I do think that it would be really smart of WWE to put her in a match with someone of the caliber of a Becky Lynch to beat this week to really solidify her in being someone that we know is on that level. That's my only complaint. I think you go with the hot hand. Go for it. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? She stinks out the building, which I don't think is going to happen at all. You take the belt off of her. But I don't think that it's that big of a risk. I think she's going to kill it no matter what, which is why she's my number one pick. I think that she belongs there. I just do want there to be a little bit more substance to the way she was booked to get to this victory. Because remember, she wins the Battle Royal. She wins a Battle Royal to get here, remember? So it's not a signature one-on-one victory to me.
Yeah. Lou says he'd love for Jade to win, but she doesn't feel like she's ready. I don't think she's ready either. I also think that she's waiting around for Bianca to come back so they can finish that story.
Yeah.
So I don't think Jade's even possible. I threw on the banner just because it's Jade Cargill. Speaking of rivaling, man, does Becky being IC champ disqualify her? I don't think so. Becky 2 belts.
I don't think it should. Yeah, why not?
Her ego would make her a person who's definitely going to throw her name into the hat. I would be shocked if she didn't throw her name into the hat. No, depending on how they go about this thing. Right. Like if there's a battle royal, there's a tournament, whatever they do, I can't see Becky Lynch saying like not being involved. I just can't.
And especially then also if you really start thinking about digging through the stories that are being told through the women's division.
Becky Lynch. Yeah, but it goes with her gimmick. Like she's there to hold people down. She's Becky Hogan. Like it
makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But it also makes sense that Lyra Valkyria would be very, very adamant about going to Adam Pearce about this because she can't challenge for any other championship right now. Like a championship. So yeah, why wouldn't she be pushing very hard to be like, hey, look, this is my chance, right? You know, all I need is an opportunity. I proved that. I won the first ever Intercontinental Championship. You know, now give me the opportunity to do the same thing. There's a lot of interesting stories that can be told on Raw with a lot of these different wrestlers. And, you know, honestly, Lou brought up somebody earlier. Actually, we'll get to Inigo's comment, and then I'll get into that.
So Inigo, still, even when Austin was Austin, he wasn't constantly getting title shots. He had other feuds that didn't involve the world title. And yes, you are absolutely correct. I can't argue there. What I will say, though, is I don't think there's been enough women built for Rhea to have proper feuds with that feel like they're top of the card.
Right.
Unless it's the world title. I mean, technically right now she's in a storyline that's not around the world title. I mean, technically that's the thing. I just think, and they just recently, since Evolution, it just seems like since Evolution, they've started putting more focus on building the women's division. Thankfully, after all these freaking years, they're finally doing it. So maybe moving forward, they can start working on doing that more often. But because the way they book the women, it's kind of like, what do you do with Rhea if she's not going after the world title? Because if you're not in the world title picture, there's not a whole lot of time for you. And you have to get her on the show. You
and there's
have to.
And there's only so many.
Okay, Austin, you're not part of the world title picture. We're not going to put you on the show because we don't have anything for you. But that was clearly never going to be the problem. I'm just kind of like giving you an example. It's just because of how the women have been booked up until now.
The other thing is that if you take her out of the title picture, there's only so many women out there that you can feud her with that it makes it feel big deal. Yeah, right. And so then what do you do? Now you've run out of ideas. You've got to put her back into the title picture at some point because it doesn't make sense for you not to. And how many months are you going to build a feud between her and Bayley? Then, okay, she goes through that. Then what? Maybe Asuka is the only other person that on a non-title level outside of Becky Lynch, who is a champion right now, so that wouldn't be a non-title feud, that I can see her having matches with that it would feel big enough that they wouldn't need it. They did it with Raquel recently. After that, who else is there? You know, it's just
that's the thing. I feel like a change is coming. Like it definitely feels like it. For the first, it really feels like
Stephanie wins. That brings a big change, right? Because now it's a brand new face that's saying, "Hey, I'm a main event talent."
Yeah. Ron says Roxanne and her huge bodyguard have been eating a lot of jobs. I will say this: Roxanne beat Io Sky last week.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
Since you did your number one. You said you wanted to talk about one of the ones Lou brought up.
My number two was actually he brought up earlier. So
let me do my number two.
Yeah, so you go to yours first. Yeah.
So since you did your one, I'll jump to my two. We're all over the place. It doesn't matter. We're just
it's fine.
3 names apiece. But you brought up my number two just randomly, and my number two is the in case of emergency break glass. It's Asuka. because at no point in time are we going to put a title on Asuka and be mad about it.
Yes, I agree.
Like, nobody's going to be mad about it. She's believable. It doesn't matter if she's been gone for 2 years and they just throw it back on her. It works. People were mad that she lost to Jade Cargill at Night of Champions.
Yes, they were.
So it's like, yeah, no one's going to be upset about Asuka. And then there's also a story with Asuka right now that revolves around, the people you brought up for your number 3, Io and Rhea.
Right.
So there's matches there for Asuka right there. Then there's the Kairi Sane thing waiting in the background. And again, it's Asuka. She's just like, I'm trying to compare her to someone that's like she's like Randy Orton. Like, if something was to go down in the main event scene and they needed a man to just put the title on and step up and do something with, Randy Orton's your guy.
That's perfect. Yeah.
No one's gonna be like, that's not gonna work. No one's gonna like bat an eye. They're like,
man, okay. Randy Orton. Okay, yeah, like, cool, Randy Orton. Cool.
Of course it works. I think Asuka's there for the women's division, and again, there's stories there for that you could do with the title, because you have two top girls, currently kind of with a program with her, so it would just make things interesting. And right there, imagine Asuka versus Io. It's what we want to see. That's a great WrestleMania match. Hey, that's a great Survivor Series women's title match. Like,
hey, and then you have her. Then Kairi eventually turns on her.
Yes.
Asuka versus Kairi. I mean, Asuka versus Rhea. Asuka versus Roxanne. There's a lot of very good matches for Asuka to have.
Asuka versus Stephanie McCare. Man,
yes.
Come on. Come on.
Yes.
Hey, he said Inigo, but at the same time, you run the risk of turning Rhea into Rhea Hogan because, well, no matter who is holding that belt, she just keeps getting it warped. But are they? Because when was the last time Rhea was champion?
Right. I mean, she lost it right before WrestleMania.
For a while.
She lost it right before WrestleMania to Io.
And her run was really short.
It wasn't a long one. Absolutely, yeah.
It was just to conclude the Liv Morgan one. And she had to come out victorious in that feud because she was the one that got scorned. So it's like, if Liv would have come out on top, it would have just not felt right or good. And that's coming from someone who likes Liv and hates Rhea. Kayfabe.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if we discussed this. Did I discuss that she's making a babyface turn on me? Unbelievable. Liv. I hate it.
Well, no. I get what you're saying. I just don't think Rhea is anywhere near there because she's not out there winning all the time.
I agree.
Yeah, she loses quite a bit. She's just always in the position. But again, like, there's a lot of people who are in those positions, and until that fan reaction starts dying, I don't think you can do anything about it. Honestly, I'm not saying this to you to be like mean, but it's just one of those things where, like, if you specifically don't like it, you're kind of the odd man out, so you just kind of have to take it. Like, and sometimes that sucks. Again, I've had to deal with it with Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso for a good amount of time now.
Hey, a lot of people said that the same thing about John Cena, but then, we were all, look, I was one of the guys. You guys remember at the very early inception of the day of Dave's shows where I was up to here with John Cena. And then I kind of was like, okay, I don't like it, but at least I understand it. And I came to acceptance of it. But it took me a long time for me to even get there. Like, I still, to this day, Cena comes out and there's still a part of me that is just like, it's always ingrained in me just from being that person for such a long time. But I get why. I understand it now. When I was younger, I didn't want to understand it, and I purposefully wanted to be negative about things. Now I'm older, and I get it. If someone like Rhea is over, you keep the championship. You keep her in championship contention. You keep her at the top of the card. You don't want her to slip down because what's the purpose of having her there? If she's not elevating other people, that's the thing is she's got to be bringing people up. If not, they're dragging her down. And then that's going to ruin her star power.
Just back to the Austin one is, even when he wasn't in the world title scene, he was still the main event.
Right.
It was never it's not like they were like, all right, time for you to go down to the mid card or open the shows. No, he was still the main event.
Right, sure. He wrestled Vince McMahon and the main event of St. Valentine's Day Massacre. It's not like he wrestled Vince and Shane in a ladder match, and that was like the main event. You know what I mean? Like it was always the case.
Difference is we all loved Austin. Like we all loved Austin. He was impossible to hate on. Like that's the difference, I think, here. But again, Rhea can.
No, the difference.
Kick rock, son.
The difference is that the internet didn't exist really that much back then. So there probably were people who didn't like the fact that Austin was always on top.
Don't matter what.
But that's my thing. At this point, if you don't realize that this is the reason why WWE is doing this, and that's the thing. It's also the same people that get mad that the people are this. And Nico, I'm not saying this about you because I know this isn't the case with you. But there are a lot of people who will make the argument of you can't keep somebody at the top all the time, then get mad that they don't create stars.
Ron hit the nail on the freaking head. Punk, the only time Punk main evented when he was the champion for 434 days is when he wrestled John Cena or when he wrestled The Rock. And even when he wrestled The Rock, I think one of those wasn't the main event. So
no, I think they were both because it was Royal Rumble and then he got the rematch at the next pay per view. I remember
the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I hated that.
Yeah, that was silly. I would have thought they didn't main event the Royal Rumble, but yeah. Let's.
Either way, it's the world title match at that point. You know what I mean? Like,
let's get the comments. It's worked. I was convinced Rhea was walking out of Evolution with the title, and it didn't happen. Like, because they kept telling the story. I'm like, they're telling the story for a reason. And then it didn't happen. So I'm like, hey, it's work. It works. It took Rhea a long time to get over on Liv. It did. And that's why, again, she had to end up on top at the end. Have to take it like you got these backwards. You have to take it like Rhea did from Dom. She had to get lost because he was done with her. You have to take it. Have to take your bag and get going. That's how that happens.
Oh.
And so, bro, get out of here, Lou. I ain't even biting on that. So let's go to your number 2, but it's your third in the list. So whatever it is, it's your third name for the show tonight. Who is your third?
Real quick, Harry. Yes, but also who was Ryback subbing for in that match? John Cena.
I put no Ryback comment up on here.
But he is right. He did. That's the only other time. But it was supposed to be John Cena in that match anyway, and Ryback was the substitute for an injured John Cena. So that's why it was the main event.
No, I'm not putting Ryback up there.
4 letters, 1 word. Stop.
Yeah.
So good. Bayley.
All right. He brought up the Bayley. That's interesting. I got to listen to this one because I didn't even.
Same. In the same vein that you mentioned Asuka, I'm going to mention Bayley. She's dependable. You want to break glass in case of emergency, you can always put a championship on Bayley and know that she's going to do well with it. A lot of people have been dogging on Triple H's booking of Bayley, but then forget that when Triple H took over,
literally one of the first things he did was push Bayley.
Was push Bayley. Like, hey, we're going to debut her with her own stable, and then we're going to make her win her only ever one-on-one match at WrestleMania and make her win the world title. Like,
oh my god, those people are not real.
I don't get it, dude. They're just as real as those people on the back of the plane with that woman was pointing at you months ago. I mean, let's be honest here. Look, Bayley in and of itself, whatever this new gimmick is, last week we talked about this. This past week on Monday Night Raw, I bought into it.
Yeah,
I'm 100% in on it. I love it. I think that this has the potential in the legs. It's got the potential in the legs to be a major change and a positive change to Bayley's character. So if we're going to go for it, let's go balls to the wall. Yeah. Put the strap on her and just say, okay, go for it. Brand new Bayley, and we're going to put her right at the top.
Okay. So Lou says heel Bayley is good for wrestling. I agree. I do prefer as a heel. My only reservation on this is the character is too fresh and new for me to throw eggs in a basket. And Bayley isn't like Stephanie Vaquer where it's like, okay, try out Stephanie Vaquer. She's the new person. Like, and if it doesn't work, we'll take the title off for no harm, no foul. With Bayley, I feel like that would be kind of like a final nail in the coffin for her as far as a main event person. If they put the title on her and this whole thing is a failure. And I don't want to, that's just me.
Here's the thing.
character. I want to see the character grow and become what it's supposed to become before they start throwing rockets on her. That's how I see it.
Here's I will
establish. I'm not saying she's not. I'm not, but this character isn't, and it's a dramatic character change for her. So what if this character is one of those things where it's like with Bray Wyatt, we didn't want to see him with a character with a title because it kind of ruined the character. What if this is one of those scenarios? Like,
I get what you're saying, and using that example, I do understand where you're coming from. I don't see there being a world though where Bayley's not going to be someone like that. Like, their character is not going to want to be in contention to be a champion. You know, I don't see that not being the case. You know,
would you agree that the character seems to be a broken Bayley?
Sure. Yeah.
Bayley is driven by success. So if a broken Bayley, what if she's not? What if she's just driven by just something else?
I mean, you're right. I mean, you're right. There is the chance, you know, you're right. I'm not going to disagree with that. Sure.
It works. That's just why in my mind, I didn't have her even sniffing it because I want to see where this goes. I want to see if it's just something that needs it or if it's going to be something that she uses to help people around the title or to elevate to the next step in the title chase, because I think the women's division needs that. We were just talking about that with Rhea. Like, Rhea needs people to feud with outside of the title scene, and I feel like if Bayley is just someone who's there to just, I don't know, whatever the character is supposed to do, and it's not around a title, that'd be a good one for Rhea to just step away from the title scene and feud with this Bayley.
Sure. I'm not going to disagree that. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. But the other thing that I was going to bring up, and Ron actually took the words right out of my mouth. You brought up, like, what if this is, like, the championship run that with Bayley is a failure? What championship run is a success lately? Has anyone had a title that any wrestling fan on the internet has actually said, "Hey, that was a really good run"? No one does anymore.
I'm not basing it on their opinions. I'm basing it on mine.
And that's fine. But even if that's the case, how bad of a run would it have to be for you to just be like, "Man, this run was so bad, I never want to see Bayley as a champion again"?
If it was on the level of Tiffany Stratton right now, I feel like it would be a failure for Bayley. Because she's established, so I expect more from her.
I think that so here's the thing. I think WWE has I think we kind of mentioned a little bit about this. Rhea actually brought up the fact that she doesn't like the fact that when she was champion, she doesn't win. She doesn't wrestle as much, and WWE is now trying to protect their champions, right? I think that's been just something we've established that they're trying to do. I think that no matter what, if you're going to win a championship, you're just going to wrestle less. Like, I feel like that's just a thing now, right? You know, like,
for certain talent, yes, but again, we both agree that if Stephanie won it, she'd be defending it quite a bit.
Sure.
Yeah. But Ron, he says,
I also don't think that they gave, like, Tiffany a lot of character backup for everything. Like, I think they were just like
turning her face was dumb.
Yeah, I just don't think she works as a face. Yeah.
I'm not blaming Tiffany for her.
No, it's not her fault at all. Yeah.
They didn't give her much to work with, and it's her first one, so it's not like she has the wherewithal because the veteran, she don't have the veteran status to kind of, like, know how to make things work that maybe Charlotte or Becky would have been able to in this title run. Like, she's learning. It hasn't been a terrible run. I just feel like it's been flat, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Ron brings up, but I could be the odd man out that I was speaking about minutes ago, and you're absolutely correct. I'm not saying that I would give it a chance. I clearly would give it a chance. But just in the opinion aspect of it, my opinion is I want to see the character fully develop before it does something like this. Because again, man, Bray Wyatt with a title didn't make sense to me. Undertaker with a title really didn't make sense to me for the first half of his career. So I don't think she's going to be like that kind of level of character. But it is kind of teetering towards the Bray Wyatt one a little bit. So I just want to see it. But
I do. Yeah.
Go ahead, Bayley.
I would like to see it. And that's why, like, she was my number 2. It's something I would personally just like to see, to say, hey, you know what? We're at a crossroads. We need somebody that we know that we can trust. And I just want to see them put their eggs in Bayley's basket. That's I think that's it for me.
That's good. That's fine. I'm not hating on Bailey.
Excuse me.
I just that's just it's a timing thing.
That's fair.
Inigo back with the Rhea. He says, I don't care if she main events because she is the main event, but she doesn't need the belt. So why put the belt on her? It's just Charlotte 2.0 in case of pregnancy break class for Rhea. But again, she's been in a lot of title matches that she lost. I don't think Charlotte is in that same category. Like when Charlotte was in a title match, it was usually she was winning it.
Yeah.
And that's why people soured on her. Like she lost this last one. It was like, that's what we want to happen.
Right.
Bruh. Again, I get it. I want them to do more feuds that don't revolve around a title, and I think Rhea's one of the ones that needs to do it. But they have to build the division before they can do it. And and I think they've handled Rhea pretty well this year, honestly. She had the short reign because she beat Liv, and then all the other title matches she's lost. She wasn't pinned in some of them, and like I that's me though. I get where you're coming from though, 100%. Taker's reigns were always short. You're right. You're absolutely right, and that's good. They were because it didn't make sense to me.
Right, like even like his first run, I kind of almost got because I felt like it was like a mercenary for Ric Flair. You know, it was less about the title and more about being a mercenary for Ric Flair and trying to take out Hulkamania. But other than that, after that, I was just like, why is this guy in the title picture? What does he want a title for?
I have no interest in Nikki Bella whatsoever.
And Harry
you are my best friend.
And Harry has all the interest in Nikki Bella whatsoever. See,
we got a nice little balance in here.
The yin and yang.
Bailey's last one was boring to me, says Harry. It wasn't the best, but again, I don't like that character she was doing wasn't hitting for me. That's why I prefer as a heel, like Lou said. And if Asuka is Orton, then Bailey is like Seth Rollins or something, says Ron. And I think that's a very fair comparison. But now it is time for my third name. It is my number one. It is the one I would really like to happen. I don't see it happening. But again, as you all know me, when I do these things, I look at what can be the best story coming out of this. And with that, there is no better story. And me and Harry are on the exact same page here because where do you put it? Where is it at?
I have a feeling this is going to be your number one, to be honest.
Roxanne Perez. Because Roxanne's trying to convince everybody that she should be in Judgment Day. The only person she hasn't fully convinced yet is Daddy Dom. How do you convince Daddy Dom? You have him do the exact same things Liv did, become champion. Then all of a sudden he's kind of like, oh, well, maybe she has earned her spot. And now what you've done is create like a problem for when Liv comes back. Because it's like, yo, Roxanne has my title. So clearly, like, it creates a lot of things for me. We talk about with Stephanie Vicaire, how she could just go out there and wrestle and have good matches, and that would be her title. I think Roxanne has proven to be one of the absolute most reliable in-ring talents in that women's division this year.
Yeah.
So you're going to be able to put in there with anybody, and they're going to show out. You're going to have Raquel there to help her beat girls that maybe people don't think she should beat yet because, she's the small heel and, Rhea's the powerhouse and Io's the better and all. And then Raquel is the equalizer there. So it helps there. And it really helps drive the story. Whereas it's maybe not driven by love this time, like it was with Dom and Liv, but it's built on a mutual respect. And like, I'm the champion, you're the champion. We're clearly supposed to be the front, the head, the of Judgment Day.
Right.
Like we're in this together.
Yeah.
And maybe that leads to something again where Liv comes back. You brought up earlier, she comes back as a babyface. This is kind of a way you could start that.
Oh, I said she was starting babyface for me.
Oh, well, in general, I think when she comes back, she's going to be babyface too.
But she started watching Entourage. So
I told you it was only a matter of time.
So she's kind of.
I've been telling you this.
She's kind of winning me over. I dislike the fact that that's the case, but look there. I think story wise, this makes a lot of really good sense, right? Because Harry even mentions, okay, so Liv comes back, we can tease tension all we want. When Liv wins the Royal Rumble, You know what I mean? If she does, then
like
totally makes sense that hey,
you could go win the other title, Liv, and then we'll have all the gold.
Judgment Day. I'll have all the gold, and then no, I want my title back, and I want you the hell out of my group.
The Dave Bautista, no, and then now the Judgment Day can split, and everybody can shut up about it. Again, I think there's just so much you could do with Roxanne Perez winning the title with Judgment Day as a whole. The matches she's gonna have, like, there's no question about it. She's gonna be good in the matches she has. That's my number one. It's clear cut to me. I've become a massive Roxanne Perez fan this year, and the more I see her, I just think she has it. I was worried she wouldn't at first.
Same here. There was just something about her that, and here's the thing. There's a big part of her NXT career that I didn't really see. I stopped right at a point when 2.0 kind of just launched. They took, that was when WWE took all of NXT off the network, and I was in the process of working my way through all of that to see everything, and I missed a lot of Roxanne in NXT.
Yeah,
I saw some stuff. Yeah, I saw mostly her babyface stuff. I really didn't see a lot of her heel stuff. So
the babyface stuff wasn't working. And she almost didn't feel comfortable in it, which I don't think is because I think she could play a great babyface. I think she can. I just don't think it was working in NXT while she was figuring things out.
But I think
being a heel, I think being a heel allows you to be a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah. Well, so the thing is that you're allowed to have a little bit more of an edge, and I think that even after you. Right, so even after you turn back into being a babyface, you can still have a little bit of that edge with you. Like Rhea, okay, everybody was like, "Oh, I can't believe they turned her heel to put her in the Judgment Day." No, she needed that heel turn to give her this vicious edge to her, so that right after that she becomes babyface, she can then keep that edge with her, and still be okay because it's Rhea Ripley. I think that's what Roxanne needed. She needed to be able to have an edge to her so that now when she eventually does turn babyface, it makes sense. It's also hard to keep somebody in the same role in a small area like NXT. Yeah. It's a local promotion. It's really hard unless you're the top person to be kept in the same spot and let people keep coming back each week to try to see you. They're going to want to see a different side of you. Yeah. And very similar to actually what Inigo Montoya was saying about Rhea Ripley. In NXT, it's very hard to have somebody at the top all the time because the idea in NXT is the next man up mentality. And that was the reason why a lot of people did like NXT. Because WWE, it is. Yeah. Because WWE, they go back up to that main roster. They're not going anywhere else. That's it. They can switch brands, sure, but they're on the main roster. In NXT, they're there for a brief period of time. Ron, literally Jerry Lawler was the person I was thinking of because normally in territories, the idea is you have a territory champion. You have a guy that comes in and does big business with that territory champion, and then they leave. And that's what NXT is. It really is. And I think that's the appeal and the charm to NXT.
And that I think the partnerships with TNA and AAA are really going to help that out a lot.
Yes.
But just hit these comments. We are almost out of time. I'm glad this topic took most of the show. That's pretty cool. That rarely ever happens. Ron asked, "Do you like the Giant champion?" Yeah, I did because it wasn't a character thing for him. It was just he's just bigger than everybody else.
Right. It made sense to me. Yeah.
But Roxanne is so young. She's also tiny. She makes Liv look colossal. To me, Roxy is like the size of Alexa, and I love Alexa as champion.
Yeah,
I thought Alexa was the best Raw Women's Champion until Becky, the man, got the belt. Alexa was awesome as champion. So
there was a time period where Alexa Bliss was in every world title, women's world championship match for 2 years straight.
Yeah,
she did not feel like she didn't fit in. Look, you can say that about that when you talk about size, but it's the same thing. Rey Mysterio has been a world heavyweight champion. At 186 pounds. You know what I mean?
What a
people.
Deadbeat.
But people have Jesus. But also that think about it though, Ron. You say that, but then you look at somebody like Finn Balor, who I think is 195 pounds.
You know what I mean? 197 after eating that cheeseburger, bro.
He said he threw up. He said it made him sick. So I think
what a psycho.
By the way, I do want to say I love that even after all this time, in some way Finn Balor was able to take some headlines away from AAA Triple Mania. That made me feel really good. Di Benito, that was
that whole thing
amazing.
Was very cool.
It was amazing.
I popped. Naomi return at Mania. Nah, I'm gonna tell you, I would expect at the very earliest a 2027 Royal Rumble. That would be the earliest I would even like.
You gotta give her time to be a mom
because you gotta get the body back and like you don't want to be away from the baby the first few months. So yeah, I would say 2027 Royal Rumble. If she's back by next year's Mania, that'd be some insane stuff right there. I know Inigo says Roxanne is like Kairi Sane. She's 5 foot 90 pounds. She could have all the talent in the world, but she had to go up against someone like Kyra Charlotte. You wouldn't believe she wins without a script. So that's fair, but at the same time, I think Roxanne has proven to be good enough to make the matches work.
Yeah,
she uses her quickness and she attacks like the knees or something like that to bring the girl down to her size. And I think Roxanne makes it work. I think this is why Cora might not have worked as well. It's because she tried to fight like a brawler, and she's tiny too. Roxanne is not in that same boat. I think she makes it work. And AJ Lee, she was another one that wasn't very big. So
yeah,
I think it has to be the right person. You can't just stick anyone in there to do it. They have to make it work.
The idea was always, okay, you believe that Bret Hart could beat Yokozuna because as big as Yokozuna was, Bret Hart was a technical master
of execution.
Right. So he was able to, figure out a way to beat everybody in any possible way because he was that good. And I feel like that's what Roxanne's, presence has always been. Yeah. Her gimmick is the prodigy. Yeah. Like she was bred to do this. You know what I mean? Like that's
knows how to make it work. Like she knows what needs to be done to
get
the job done.
Right. So it does make sense that you can see her beating a larger opponent because she knows how to use their advantages against them.
So,
yes, he could.
He couldn't beat Dominic Mysterio, pal. End of discussion. I'll ask one last little simple question and then we'll say our goodbye. I do want to ask. It's come up in the news recently and I find it to be very interesting and I do want your thoughts on it. Chris Jericho, do you see him at the Royal Rumble?
I would love it. I personally, I would love it. Do I think it happens? And I hate to be this guy. Man, it's really a 50-50 chance, right?
Oh, my goodness.
But like, in all honesty, it's not even just the fact of that. It's Chris Jericho. Like, Jericho was, like, it was very adamant. Like it was very easy to predict that Jericho was returning to WWE. He did his New Japan run. He was going to go to WWE, and that was going to be the end of it. And then all of a sudden, this guy, like a wild card, signs up and just signs for AEW. And it's like, wait, what? So that's my thing. It's Jericho has never been conventional. I think that and I think that there's a very big part that feels that conventionally, Jericho is at the end of his run in AEW. And I think that Jericho might re-sign with AEW for 3 years. Just to like stick it back in everybody else's face. But I also do think that even though he's talked his crap about WWE, I think that there's a point where he wants the idea of, let me go back, let me get my one last run, let me get my Hall of Fame ring, let me get the Legends deal, let me, be able to just
ride off into the sunset.
Yeah.
I think there's an 85% chance he's at the Royal Rumble.
You think it's that high?
I think, yeah, I do. I think the AEW experiment, I think they're done with him. I don't think he's done with them. I think they're done with him.
Fair enough.
I think that's what it's going to come down to. And he's with, like, the reason he signed with AEW is because they gave him like he's said this multiple times, they gave him the biggest contract he's ever had. So, and when he told Vince about it, Vince's like, yeah, take that. And he did. Like, I don't think if the contract was bigger than something WWE offered him, he would have done it. I truly don't think he would have done it. Maybe he would have done it later on, but not off the get-go. And then when he re-signed, he got another massive contract that WWE never paid him. I don't think they're going to be so willing to give him that kind of money this time around because the fan base is soured on him. And for any of that fan base out there, I know they're not even listening, but I'm going to say it, that says or the WWE fan base is like, oh, I can't wait to see them turn on Jericho. It's like, no, they've already turned on him.
Yes.
Like this isn't a tribal thing. They're done with Jericho. They
And
don't
by the
want
way,
him.
all the ones who are saying that, you're the ones who crapped all over him his
Yeah.
entire run in AEW. That is just going to be like, Jericho's back. We're so happy. Like, if you got this, if you got an opinion on something when it's over there, keep it when it comes back to the place that you like.
But where was I at? Also, if we're being real here, the tables have turned for AEW quality wise, based on their fan base, not anything other than what their fan base is saying and everything.
Yes.
The product has gotten better exponentially since Chris Jericho has been off TV. I hate to I'm not even gonna say it's Jericho's fault. I'm just saying that's a hell of a coincidence. So I just think that they're done with him.
There was a point where I think that Jericho kind of maybe. All right. So I think there was a point where
Cody. They did turn on Cody.
They did.
The fan base did. I think the locker room and the fan base is kind of done with Jericho. I don't think they'll admit it, but I think so.
I think there was a point in time where they did turn on him, and I think it was at a point where I do think it was a little bit warranted. Maybe he wasn't doing the best work that he could. But I think that he rebounded and he came back, and I think he started doing better work afterwards. But I just think that that wrestling fans will then just be like, nope, we already said we don't like him. So even if he's going to do good, we can't even say that he's doing good. Because I think he did great work, a great job getting people like Brian Keith and getting people like Big Bill on a bigger platform and building them up to be more successful now that he was, he had worked with them.
Inigo says it all depends on if TKO could make money off of him. If they don't think they can, they won't sign him. This isn't McMahon anymore. TKO won't sign him because of what he meant to WWE. I think that in the long term, I think it could be the pitch could be, hey, we're going to get him in the Hall of Fame. We're going to give him a Legends deal, and then we're going to make money off of him that way. And I think that's how you get him in. I don't think it's one of these 5-year, multi-million-dollar contracts he'd get. I think it'd be a short run. Maybe just going up to WrestleMania and induct him in the Hall of Fame. He's a headliner to me.
Oh, of course.
So do that, and then do the Legend deal, and then you're going to make money off of him for the rest of his life, with all the merchandise and the toys and all that. And
there's one big major component here that we're not talking about, and it's really the big question is, what does Chris Jericho want to do after retirement? Because that's what this contract ends up being, right? It could be the last contract he signs as a professional wrestler. And if Chris Jericho wants to work behind the scenes, what atmosphere does he want to work in? Does he like where he is in AEW, where he can work behind the scenes there and maybe in creative and maybe can help to do something with talent development or something like that? And maybe they do make their own version of a performance center. And Jericho, or does Jericho like the WWE system? And does he want to retire in WWE, get the Hall of Fame nod? And if he wants to train the future of the business, he's got a job at the PC. You know what I mean? Or a producer, or whatever he wants. And I think that's the main thing. And I think that the conversation that he's going to have at this contract with both WWE and AEW is, where do I go after I'm done being an in-ring competitor? And I think that's the reason why I feel like this is such a wild card. I don't think it's so much about where he wants to end his wrestling career, because I don't think he cares where he ends his wrestling career. I think it's what happens after he ends that wrestling career.
Okay. I know I said that last question, but I'm going to ask another one. We're already over time, so whatever. Who cares? Harry asked it. It's a great question. If Jericho returns to WWE, who is his first feud? Which would essentially be the one that leading into WrestleMania. Who would his WrestleMania feud be? My
knee-jerk reaction is immediately not there. And that sucks, because I would immediately be Kevin Owens.
Okay.
But he's not there.
Is that the last thing he did, was the Festival of Friendship?
No.
I know Bray Wyatt. It was Bray Wyatt.
Yes. Yeah.
So the Wyatt 6? No, please don't do that.
No.
Is there a match that you want to see? Yes, there is, and it is my pick for who his feud would be.
So please lay it on me, and then I'll
Logan Paul.
That's a great pick. That's a great pick.
Logan Paul's out there running his mouth, and then all of a sudden the lights go down. Break the wall. Bro, I'm going to pop all over again. Man, I'm going to ask Chris when I see him at Spooky Empire. I'm like, hey, man, you go back to WWE? You want to face Logan Paul? Come on, man. Give me that scoop. I'm a wrestle buddy. You want to go ahead and give me that scoop? Oh my god, I'm pretty excited. I'm excited about the thought of that. I think
that is such Logan, a good shout,
buddy. It would be a great feud.
Yes,
it would be such a great feud.
Yeah,
he meant towards Paul. Paul who? Oh, Logan Paul. Okay, yeah. No, I want him to feud with him.
Yeah.
Jericho don't want no problems. He don't want no problems. That's the show, everybody. But thank you all.
Honestly, I'd love to see him come back and have a match against Cena before he retires. Just throwing that one out there.
Yeah, that won't happen. LA Knight's another one I think he could feud with.
That's a good shout too. Yeah.
But that's the show, everybody. Hey, Ron, just for you, just so you know, this Friday, the Friday Nights Review will be back. You mentioned it earlier in the show. I didn't bring it up. I wanted to surprise you at the end. It will be back this Friday morning. Nick has been super busy with life. He's finally been able to kind of just get settled back in. We're going back to the Friday Nights Review, and it's on the right day. It's Friday morning. So we're going to be doing that next week.
Yes, Harry.
Out. No. I'm sorry you just jumped in, Joe, but we are leaving.
Yes.
But Albert says he will be. I'm not sure where you're going to find him next week, but he will be on another show
on
next week.
Wednesday. Just
follow him on Twitter and he'll let you know.
To Twitter. It's my handle's right there at the bottom. Stay tuned to Twitter. Find out. There's going to be a big thing coming. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to say anything yet. I'm going to wait to go through the proper channels for it to be announced. Once it is announced, it's going to be a pretty fun deal. A lot of collaboration is going in to this, so it should be a really fun deal. So keep a lookout for me. And then next week we'll still do not like we're not going to do our show. I just can't.
We'll just if it works on Thursday, we'll make it work. And if it doesn't work on Thursday, maybe it'll work on Tuesday.
Maybe we can do it on Tuesday too. Why not? We'll figure it out. We'll be here, guys.
Yeah, I do like this question, so I'm going to throw up. I hope you have a quick answer. Yeah, see, Courtney knows what's up. Logan Paul versus Chris Jericho. That would be awesome. What's your favorite fantasy football wrestling name? Mine each year is CM Punt. Do you have one?
Right, my current league, I'm head of the table.
Okay, mine is Daddy Dom /Inators. Daddy Dominators. I get made fun of for it, but I don't care. But that's the show, everybody. I will be back on this channel on Friday morning, and we'll be back here next week, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever we're going to work. And Albert will be elsewhere. Just follow him on the Twitter machine right there at that handle, and you will do that as well. It sounds like it's going to be awesome and a lot of fun, so don't miss it.
It's going to be a good time.
Ron Stroman. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. But thank you, and where do you have it? Hey, toodles. I'm never